Hello there, Rabbi. How you doing?
I'm doing really good, Joe.
I'm glad to hear it. I myself spent the morning shoring up the ceiling in the basement and in the family room. And I'm not an engineer and I'm not a major carpenter or construction worker, but I think I did a good enough job.
Joe, can't, why do we have to include the word enough? What's wrong with us as Americans that we can't just say, this is good? Why do we have to add a negative word that implies it's somewhere below a standard or I'm not happy with it? You know, in the book of Genesis, every day God creates, God looked upon his work and said, this is good. And in one place, he said, very good. God never said, oh, this is perfect, or, oh, gee, this isn't good enough. I better recreate, or I have to do it again. That's, that's a good model for us, particularly as Americans, because we are among the most unhappy people in the known universe. Our rates of substance abuse, spouse abuse, political abuse, anger, shootings, everything is off the charts that indicates we're dissatisfied and unhappy. And one of the reasons is we can never accept something as good. We're obsessed with and we're pummeled with, you know, if you have your hair's straight, it should be curly. If it's curly, it should be straight. If your beard's gray, it should be black. If your beard's black, it should be gray. If you're this weight, this isn't good. Advertising is entirely based on me being dissatisfied with my house, with my car, with my partner, with the food I eat. And then social media. People jump on and want to show that the time they had was better than anyone else's. It was a perfect day at Disney. It was a perfect day at the beach. The message I want to give comes right from God. It's good. Truly, you can have a good time without it being perfect.
I always felt that perfection was something that you'd strive for but never attain. Uh, it's just the levels of good enough don't always seem to necessarily justify that you're happy with the project or dissatisfied with the project, just that you're tired of doing it and you don't want to do anymore. So you're saying, that's good enough. I'm going to leave it alone and just hope for the best.
But that's so negative, Joe. Why can't I enjoy a pastry and say, this is good? And obviously, in the known universe, there's things that taste better or things that taste worse. However, I can have a good time. And by wanting perfection, I don't mean just as you're describing a kind of striving for something. We ruin the moment. That's that's it, Joe. Why do we have to ruin the moment by it's good enough or I'm obsessed with perfection or I'm not as good as what I see on television or anywhere else. Let's enjoy because the result is a lot of unhappy Americans. We've dropped down the happiness scale. We're lower now. I don't know where we are now, but we're lower than we ever were, and we're dropping. And I believe one reason is we can never look around us and say, I had a good time. This was good.
I know as an artist, it's very difficult. And one of the first things that you have to learn is to enjoy the artwork that you do. And most artists, and this is a truism I hear all the time, are not as happy with their work as they could be. There are always that thing driving them forward saying, I could do that better. I could do, but then in that case, it's a motivator to do more and create more. So I suppose good enough could be a good thing and a bad thing, depending upon how you look at it.
In baseball, they keep saying to the players, just get on base. this idea of hitting it out of the park, of grandstanding, that's not, coaches don't want that. Get on base and the next batter will get you home. And that was a good hit. Getting on first was good. And if we players that start with, oh, I could have gotten a triple, or I should have done this, or I could have done, don't do as well and aren't as consistent as baseball players who get on first. That's good. It's good to get on base, Joe.
I know who always gets me on base, Rabbi, and that's you and your advice. Bring me home. I'm ready to round the bases.
And that's my message for today. It's good